This is Matrix Lord 212, and I want to discuss Doctor Who today. And in general, the race called the Silence. Well, not a species, a religious sect. But basically, we have only 5 episodes left with Amy and Rory Pond. And River's going to be in episode 5, maybe in episode 1. But the thing I'm starting to realize is that they're probably not going to tie up the whole storyline with the Silence at all in the 5 episodes. It doesn't look like it because we didn't see any pictures or anything to do with the Silence returning. Now, how could you not tie it to Amy and Rory Pond? Like, how could you not have it in the 5 episodes? Unless, of course, it's going to be in the next half of Series 7. And I guess they'll explain it without the appearance of Amy and Rory. But I, for one, do want to see a lot of the plot holes. But they're not really plot holes. I mean, Stephen Moffat placed things for a reason in the episode, but I do want to see how he resolves the Silence. I want to see who Madame Corvarian is. She works for the Silence. Who's behind the Silence? Who's behind the church, the headless monks? And I want to see how it really ties together with the Fields of Trenzalore. But it may be possible that we don't have any Silence whatsoever in Series 7 at all, or in that anniversary. They may just save it for Series 8. So don't be too surprised if they're saving something after the anniversary. So something to think about. But I do believe that we will see more of River Song beyond episode 5. I do think we will see her in the next half of Series 7. And I do believe she may be part of the anniversary. Now, another thing I want to talk about is that they recently talked to David Tennant, and David Tennant said concerning the 50th anniversary that basically his suits are on standby. I mean, he has every single suit that he ever wore as the Doctor in his house. Okay, and he says, you know what? All he has to do is just take it right out of the closet. He is so ready to do it. It's not even funny. Okay, all they got to do is call him, and he's there. He's not even going to refuse it. So, and this is just because, he's a fan. I mean, too. He's been a fan since he was a child, and then he got to, his favorite Doctor was like the 5th Doctor, and I believe, and he got to accomplish his dream, 1, on being the show, being the Doctor himself, then 2, marrying Georgia Moffat, and which is the daughter of the 5th Doctor, and then his father-in-law is the 5th Doctor. So, he really got to live his dream, and he's doing other roles too. But I do believe that David Tennant wants to return in the worst way, and I do believe that all Stephen Moffat has to do is just ring him, and he's there. Now, as far as Christopher Eccleston goes, I did make a video about that too. I do believe it's a possibility that he'll return, because once again, the show is run by different people than when Christopher Eccleston was with the Doctor. And you know what? He always wanted to do things for the kids. So people loved him as a Doctor. I mean, my kids loved him because they got into Doctor Who with him. They did when they were really, really young. They were watching Sylvester. Well, my son, my oldest, was watching Sylvester McCoy, like Battlefield and stuff, but he didn't remember it. But then when Christopher Eccleston came on the scene, that's when they really got interested. All right? Because they were a little older too. So I think it's a good chance that David Tennant's probably the best chance to have in the 50th anniversary, and I do believe that there's a good chance too with Christopher Eccleston. Now, as far as the other Doctors go, I do believe that it's a better chance with the 5th Doctor. I think that it's a good chance with Sylvester McCoy. At least I'm hoping, but then again, he's doing The Hobbit, so I don't know. And then Paul McGann is open to it. I think Tom Baker would do it. If it didn't entail any a lot of physical activity, I'm sure Colin Baker would do it. Just basically, I think all the Doctors would be open they're surviving to do it. It's just a matter of the right story, unless, of course, it's just not just one story; it's a couple. And of course, with the anniversary season, we would have story arcs. I'm sure they'll connect all the anniversary episodes together. So that's the one time I believe that it will return, and maybe the story arcs will return in Series 8 as well. So this is basically just Doctor Who talk. The other day, I got the news when I was traveling home about the Ionic star for the Christmas special being Richard E. Grant. Now, what a time for the news to hit, because I tried to make myself available to make a video, but I wasn't technically home. I was on the road, so it was like in such a rush. But I did make the video, although it was very short. But I didn't go into any details at all about Richard E. Grant, which he was. If you saw the comic relief, the first attempt at Doctor Who that Moffat did was with the Curse of the Fatal Death, which that was his first stint on Doctor Who, like with the comic relief special, and then of course he was with Russell T Davies, in the first season of Doctor Who series, but he did that first, and Rowan Atkinson played the Doctor. And in that episode, he faced off against this other Master, the Master character, but he regenerated a few times. Now, it was a comedy special, don't forget. And the first person that Rowan Atkinson regenerated into was Richard E. Grant, okay? So, that's why, like, I shared it on the Facebook site that I run and administer with Dr. Freedom and Sexy Blues, which was the part 2 of the Curse of Fatal Death. Now, I shared that on that and in Doctor Who Universe, as well as Doctor Who Sanctuary Group. So you could see that on there. And, you let me know what you think. Now, of course, it's like years later, but this time he's supposed to be playing not the Doctor, but he's supposed to be playing a villain, okay? So, once again, I'm sorry for the brief video the other day, but I was actually on my way home, and it was a massive, massive storm that I was going to make a video like 10 minutes later, but like the lights were flickering and power outages here and there, and it was just, you know what, I made a video the next day about different things, but I never really went into detail about Richard E. Grant being in the Christmas special. So it was, I mean, when I say brief, it was the briefest video I think I've ever done, and I really wasn't in a position to make it longer, because like once I said, I was stopped at the time, but I was in the middle of on my way home, so I had to finish. I had to do some type of video at least. So, so sorry for the quick video there. But other than that, this is today's going on. It's Tuesday going on Wednesday, and I'm sure we're gonna have a lot more Doctor Who news to come during the week. And other than that, that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and also know that I have a Facebook site as well, Matrix Lord 212 on Facebook. So if you guys, I just started it. I think it was in December, but I never really did too much with it. But now I'm starting to put stuff on there too. So if you guys are interested, if you want to like my page, and then from the Facebook site, it links to, like, it links to, I talk about my books too, which is the first book, Sorrow Separation, the second book, Tomorrow's Song, third one, Winds of Change, Destiny's Callings #4. The fifth book is Loss of Ways. The sixth book is Shadow's Reign. Yeah, I did a lot of books. Seventh book is Greatness and Glory. Eighth book is Dark Days. And ninth book is 9 Years' Time. And out of all those 9, 8 are actually published. 8 are actually able to be purchased on Amazon, on the Kindle, the Nook. They are available everywhere on the internet, from Barnes & Noble to Amazon to Android Market, to like basically the cell phones. You can buy it. You can buy it on tablets. You can buy it really everywhere. And right now I'm doing a big push with my publisher Zebras to get them in the physical stores once again with Barnes & Noble. And the first book that they will probably carry would be Book 5, Loss of Ways, which is kind of a prequel. So it is fitting, and it's nice size book. So I'm hoping that this takes off comes October, and then I'll be doing book signings like I used to. I mean, I used to be in Borders, and it was they were so wonderful, and it was such a great experience. I did 5 book signings, and they made me really feel at home. And you know what? If they didn't go out of business, I got the approval for all my books to be carried. They carried actually Sorrow Separation and Tomorrow's Song, and they were going to carry Winds of Change. And at the time, there was basically 5 books out. So They were going to carry all my books, and I was going to be carried in every single Borders. And it was really, really a shame that they went Chapter 11, and then shortly thereafter, they all went out of business because, you know what, the books would have soared like never before. And you know what, once that happens, all the other bookstores that were carrying my books, they basically went out of business. I mean, what a disaster! I felt so bad. I mean, you know how hard it is, like when you really try to create something so wonderful, and you have a good relationship with your book companies, and then all these bookstores like basically closed. Like I had like the worst luck. So right now, technically, no bookstores carry my books live, but that's going to change very soon. Hoping Barnes Noble will carry them comes October, and then I can start doing book signings from state to state. That would be really, really nice. And the Sorrow Separation series is going to continue, but not right now. Book 9 will be out probably within the next 2 weeks. And then we're going to have Tomorrow's Song 2, Promised Dream. It's going to have its own series, the second book and third book. But right now we're going to do Promised Dream Book 2. And then I'm also going to be doing other spin-off series from the Sorrow series. My sci-fi is still coming out. I want to say December 12, 12, 12. I'm hoping, but we're going to have to see what happens with that. And like I said, Sorrow Separation 10 and 11 is going to be really, really nice and completely different from anything I've ever done before in my life. So I hope you guys look forward to it. And I'm also working on, too, what I call the October book, which I'm not even going to say what it's about, but it is connected to the Sorrow series, and that's going to be basically standalone. It's going to be, I mean, and another thing too, my books are not just poetry. What started out as poetry has become like story-based. It's like a novel, really, and it's based on things that happened to my life, which I make stories and fiction about it, and I, like everybody draws inspiration from somewhere. So, I drew inspiration from things going on in my life and different things I've seen in my life, and I've created a whole universe, world of characters that, live on their own, basically. I mean, they have a life of their own, and you know what? What started as poetry has been shaped into this whole dramatic, huge universe that is so wonderful and exciting and fiction, and it's just amazing. And you know what? Characters just breathe out of the pages and the covers, and they spinned off on their own, and it's just it's become its own self-sustaining thing. I mean, I'm so proud of the Sorrow Separation series and the spin-offs and everything, and it's one of the greatest things the greatest project I say would ever undertaken. I mean, I've created this, and it's continually growing beyond belief. And I really, really worked hard on trying to get books out pretty quickly. And I was upset that I didn't, at the time, I didn't think I got like a world record, but I've just been told recently, which is the good news, that there is a possibility that I did break something. So hopefully I will hear from the big guys of the records very, very soon, and I can't even mention their name, but yeah, I'm told I broke something, which would make me go into this book, and then there might be media exposure, so that would be great besides the book signing. So my main thing is, I talk about my books all the time, besides Doctor Who, and right now I actually pay for 8 different websites, so which each one is connected to the book, which if you basically go to www.sorrowofseparation.com, you will be linked to every single book in the series. And I'm wondering if I should tie in the other spin-offs with that, like on the website. But, I mean, who could say that they have 8 websites, for 8 different books? I mean, and these books basically came out a little over 2 years. So, I mean, Sorrow Separation came out in 2010 with Tomorrow's Song, and Winds of Change, there was a problem that it should have made 2010, but it got carried over into January. And then in April of 2011, we had, besides Winds of Change, we had Destiny's Calling, then Lost in Ways, and then, a lot of different things happened in my life that the 6th book did not make it for 2011, and that got carried over into February of 2012. Flemingtown, excuse me. And then Greatness and Glory came out in April. Dark Days came out May 9th. And 9 Years' Time hopefully will be out in 2 weeks. So that's the brunt of what's going on with the series and the books. And I hope you guys check out my websites. I hope you guys check out Amazon, purchase the books if you like, if you want to take a peek. You know, what better way to get it than on Kindle or the Nook, because, you know, it's really cheap. I think it's like $3 or something like that, or $10 or something. I don't know, whatever, but it's like really cheap to get it on electronic format. So, you know, and like I have a Facebook page for every single book, and the new ones are not even out yet. So if you want to just, if you're bored and you want to just go on Facebook and type in Sorrow Separation, Tomorrow's Song, and look at all these different things, you'll find all these different websites, and you'll even know books that won't even be out for another year. So if you look around, so that's if you're bored. If you want to look around, but also check out my regular websites and check out Matrix Lord 212 on Facebook. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. It's pretty long, and have a good night.